page, which I just pulled all his shit straight down on one page, so, I mean, obviously I'll transition there. The particle accelerator, and then the nanotype.
If this is what a background check looks like, this shit needs to happen more often. Keely, I think your beer is getting a little warm. I will let you drink it. We won the debate for 2 reasons. The ace point is that they have conceded that humans are inevitably good. We read a piece of 2AC evidence indicates we would never deliberately try and destroy the world, but we would find ways to work it. This is contextualized in a piece of 1 hour day evidence that is almost functionally conceded that says as we continually evolve and develop new technologies, they will not be used for bad things, but they will be used to transform the universe, in order to solve an inevitable universal collapse. He does not have a single piece of evidence that indicates that we would use these super weapons or nanotechnology in a bad manner. There is no evidence that humans will do it in a poor manner. We're the only ones with evidence on this question, which is DEM. They've also conceded that you have a 100% risk of human extinction. If we make any defense on reasons why nanotech may not eventually spread or why alien life may not exist, you would vote for a more probable impact because there's a guaranteed extinction of the human race. He says this will happen by 2020. This will be answered on the line. The B point is that evolution of life takes time. All of our evidence that indicates life out there does not exist indicates it takes billions of years for life to happen. If nanotechnology will inevitably destroy all of us by 2020, then we are fucked anyway because there's nothing else out there that exists with proofs that you would just be killing off humans. So framework to make. First, they say that there is no categorical distinction between other humans and other humans here. This is why we have multiple pieces of evidence that indicates that humans necessarily transform the earth. They concede pieces of evidence, as was explained in the overview. Additionally, spin rat evidence indicates that human survival is crucial to alien survival. This evidence indicates that they need us for things like DNA harvesting because they will inevitably go extinct. This means if we stay alive in the next 12 years, it would be important for them. And his piece of evidence that says that they identify that we actually are bad for their species is just a piece of evidence that indicates that they will try and correct us, making sure that we do not use these super weapons until they can harvest the DNA, which means that aliens are a terminal check on all of their impacts, which proves that they will keep us around long enough to harvest our DNA. If we inevitably go extinct right now, this would be fucked for the aliens, which proves that there are multiple off. He says any bit of impact calculus, no, this is the probability debate that they would inevitably kill off all humans in the interim period. This would also be exponentially more humans and animals because we replicate every day. If there are true that nanotechnology can replicate, it makes feasible that the bacteria, etc., can also replicate, which proves that you would kill a lot more things. They say that there might be more advanced civilization. This would be answered below. They say that human extinction is inevitable. This is answered back by our piece of aliens argument, and this is all contingent upon them winning nanotechnology, which is the only impact. So if we make defense about why nanotechnology may not be feasible, etc., then human extinction is not inevitable. They say there's very little threshold. No, not when the entire human race of civilization is extinct. He says that there are 100 billion galaxies. This is answered back by multiple pieces of evidence. Our BBC evidence is the piece of evidence that cites a university that Thiele is not aware of because it is in Europe. Of course, you probably have not heard of it. Indicates that they are just talking about science fiction because there is no probability that alien life exists. This evidence indicates that the Earth is a unique place within the atmosphere. He says that they've promoted multiple professors. This is true. A piece of direct sort of evidence that was written at 1AR indicates that humanity is alone, and this evidence also indicates that there are a few stars, even if there's a bunch of galaxies. Additionally, our savage evidence, which you should circle, star, highlight, circle twice more, and star again, indicates that even if the aliens exist, they shouldn't affect your decision calculus because we're the only ones with comparative evidence on the question. Thiele did not answer this evidence in the last speech. This evidence indicates that it is immaterial. This is the impact calculus I'm giving that probability outweighs magnitude. This evidence says if we are unsure, we better not go over and fuck ourselves in the interim period. And our Brent evidence that we read all is our evidence of substantiated the overview that indicates that it takes billions of years for different formations on planets to form, which also answers back this argument. And our space daily evidence indicates there's no certainty that life exists elsewhere in space. This also answers back there. This also answers back their Saturn argument that indicates that all the evidence that we found is unlikely. They've also conceded that we save the environment on Earth, which is a whole host load of other species in the interim period. He says that humans will eventually resolve, and that will take over impact on presumption. No, because you can see there's no life in the status quo, which means even if we re-evolve, there would still be things like sexism with the firm would be able to solve this. So also not a new argument. You read a piece of evidence indicates that DNA will eventually replicate into other types of species, which proves that even if there's not life on some planets out, it may eventually happen, which is a direct answer to that because humans will evolve, which takes out the impact. He says we wouldn't be bad in the future. Yes, this is our argument, and they say it's not key to the universe. Their evidence does not say 20 years we would all die. Okay, perfect. Particle accelerator, the only piece of evidence I'm going to extend here is that empirically denied that we had never heard to local past. This are all reasons why you should put our anti-calculus arguments indicates that despite all these scaremongering tactics over particle accelerators and nanotechnology taking over the earth, it has never happened, which proves that you should scrutinize every one of their impacts. They have no defense of why their impacts are necessarily true. Now, the nanotech debate, they say that artificial life outweighs. This isn't true. We have read a piece of Levy evidence in the winter that indicates that their authors are idiots and it's a long time before it eventually happens. Our other piece of azimuth evidence indicates A life is impossible to computers. Well, not necessarily replicate. These are not new pieces of evidence, even though they may say A life in the tech. We've read multiple pieces of evidence on the particle accelerator debate that indicate that it is impossible to have a particle accelerator due to things like scientific development. Even though Facebook may have evolved, that does not mean that we will eventually be able to have A life in the internet. These are also just analytical arguments that he is making. He still doesn't have an answer to our blue-blue argument. He says that defensive outweighs defense. This isn't specific for the specificity of our evidence. Our personal evidence indicates that whenever gravity comes along, blue-blue will come along, and it only makes sense. Why would scientists develop something they cannot control? Of course, they're going to have self-controlling mechanisms to have to do that, which proves that they don't even have any evidence indicates that blue-blue will also not come along. That would check our nanotechnology. In fact, our sample evidence says the risk of gray goose spiraling out of control is about as big as the risk as your printer going up and attacking you. Our Henderson evidence indicates that Nobel Prize-winning scientists yelled at, screamed, I criticize those people who all think that gray goose could eventually spiral around the world. This also answers back to the chemistry with their NAS evidence just indicates that peaceful nanotechnology will eventually pass in the future. They say that the brain is not complex and our doomsday scenarios don't apply. This is our Brown evidence. This will explain about how the universe will not really collapse. They've also conceded peaceful Weldon evidence, and so multiple scientists indicates it's empirically not science fiction. Additionally, our economist evidence and our Roberts evidence indicates that Drexler, the person that came up with the self-replication theory, eventually said, no, I was wrong. Everybody's taking me out of context. There's no risk of self-replicating nanotech.